Yikey dikeys. Let's go. What's up, live stream? This is the Misfit Heroes podcast. It's my first time doing a live, so bear with me. I have this much idea of what I'm doing. But hopefully some of you guys find some interest. Going to be podcasting today with Beetle. She goes on TikTok as uwunisom. And I probably even said that wrong. Who knows? But she's been through the troubled teen industry. And it's basically all those shows you had back in the day, like Scared Straight, where kids that were acting up, and they weren't acting right, and we sent them to jail. And to sort of get their mentality right and everything like that. Well, this is that on steroids. And she's going to be joining us probably at about noon Eastern Time, 11 Central. And I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun talking to her. So, this is my first time doing a live. Like I said, I'm excited to see how it goes. If you're wondering why why this is sort of coming up from the bottom, I'm doing this from my iPad. I don't have anything dedicated to live streaming yet, but I figured I would check some stuff out. I've already gone through my checks and everything like that, making sure everything works properly. Got my microphone going, my laptop right here, my phone, going to be recording video from that, and hopefully everything goes smoothly. So, no responses yet. No viewers yet, but that's all right. This is sort of new to me. I'm not used to things being done live, so I really don't have a whole lot of ideas about what's going on. But hey, somebody's there. Hello, new people. Howdy. If you're new here, this is the Misfit Heroes podcast. I speak with people that are doing good things for others. That's literally what the entire podcast is about. And you're out. Deuces. Noted it. But yeah, the show is about people that are doing good things in their community for others. And we speak with whether that's like nonprofits, CEOs, outreaches, ministries, things where people are sort of anything that if you're putting others over yourself, well, that's what this podcast is about. And I enjoy doing it, and I think we've spoken to some really cool people and going to be speaking to some more really cool people in the future. I'm on episode, I want to say 71 or 72 now. I'm not sure. Kind of forget at some point. But I've been doing this since 2019, and I love podcasting, and live streaming is like so new to me. Like I don't even watch live streams, but this is the first time for me doing it, so I figure why not try something new. I was here early, and maybe I can answer some questions for people, and maybe I can see what you guys are interested in with the show, and hopefully you can check me out. So that is that. Today is Saturday. It's a Saturday morning. I like recording podcasts on Saturday morning because I'm sort of awake and ready to roll. And I guess I can talk about some of the software that I use to make the podcast so super awesome, so everybody likes it. Right now, I am got a website loaded up called Zencastr. That's the podcasting program that I use that records the video and the audio, and it does things a little bit differently. If you've ever been on a Zoom call or something like that, it does like get all that lag and everything like that. Well, this website Zencastr that I'm using, it records everything locally and then uploads it afterwards, so that all of the audio and video sounds like you're right there in place. Had a second person pop in. Hi, how you doing? And yeah, that's basically how that works. That's how I get that professional sounding audio. They've actually recently sponsored the podcast, and we're going to start doing some ads, early ad reads for them before some of the episodes on the audio platforms. And you should definitely check them out. They're actually free to get started, and they are they have like tiered plans based on how much time you need to record and things like that. But they've been great for my podcast so far. A little bit about my equipment because people have been asking about that. This is a Sennheiser E835 microphone. This is a little boom arm right here. And I'm recording into a MacBook Air and an iPhone for my camera. Right now, this live stream is coming in live from an iPad. Super exciting. I know you guys are really interested in that. And yeah, we're going to be talking, like I said, about the troubled teen industry and the pitfalls of that from somebody who's actually lived it and been through the troubled teen industry. They were essentially kidnapped from their house at like 2 o'clock in the morning when they were 16, 17 years old. And now she's got a TikTok account where she teaches people about what was going on with it. And it's like, I think she has like 180,000 followers, something like that. So somebody's paying attention. And yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. I'm excited to do it. So there we go. She's going to be coming on in about 20 minutes or so. And hopefully we'll do this whole podcast live. You guys can answer questions and ask questions, and, see what's to see, so to speak. This lady has a cool name, by the way. Her name is Beetle. It's pretty dope. Like, I'm just Chris. There's nothing fancy about it. There's a Chris on every corner. We're like McDonald's. You don't meet a whole lot of Beetles. I mean, you do, but they generally have 8 legs. What am I talking about? This is so strange to me. Different. Not used to it. Not having anybody around. And just talking to myself while still trying to make it sound interesting. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. But, oh. Got a message back here. From... Oh, what's this? What's up? General? Oh. I am a digital marketer. Don't care. Do I want to grow my YouTube, Spotify, Twitch? No, I do that naturally. I'll go ahead and just block her. No thanks. Block. Report. It's spam. There we go. I don't know if any of you guys are Instagram users out there. I'm on Instagram at Misfit Heroes. Obviously, you're on YouTube right now, the Misfit Heroes podcast. I do daily shorts of all my podcasts. I do clips and everything like that from all types of different topics. Recently did one with artificial intelligence, the ChatGPT AI, which was a lot of fun. My last podcast I did with Nature Jab, Julian Brown. He's a guy that is, he is starting to do what's called microwave pyrolysis, and he's essentially he's taking plastic trash and melting it all down and turning it into fuel. That was a lot of fun. That's been the situation there. And who else did I do? I did Josh Clifford's from Free Water. Shout out to Josh. They are giving out free waters to people and paying for everything with the ads that are on the bottle. And it's pretty dope. Really cool project. I enjoyed speaking with them. I'm all over the place. It's very, very similar to like a Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend, or Joe Rogan, or a smart guys. All different types of things like that. The guests are very varied on our podcast, and we have conversations about all different types of stuff. And I've spoken to some really cool people. They're really interesting. And I'm just really enjoying doing podcasting. I love it. It's my thing. So if you're out there and you're a podcaster, you want to learn some stuff, this year I'm going to be doing some content about how I do podcasting, all the equipment that I use, all of the software that I use, the websites that I use, and how I do things. A lot of people just, they want to start a podcast because they want to get their voice out there, and they think, oh, I'm just going to do a Zoom call and that's going to be it. And then they wonder why nobody listens to it, and I can give some tips and tricks for how that goes, so that's going to be something. I also, it's just like a shot in the dark, sort of a pipe dream at the moment, but I want to start touring with the podcast. I want to do a lot more in-person podcasts around the country, maybe around the globe. That would be awesome. And I've been invited to a whole lot of conventions. I've spoken at some podcasting conventions in the past. I'm going to be doing some more of that this year. So I'm excited about 2023. I hope you guys are excited as well. And I love being able to try new things. And like I said, this is just brand new for the live for me. So, yeah. Fifteen minutes. 15 minutes till we're supposed to show up and chat with each other. See what's going on. This does actually kind of calm me down a little bit before the podcast. I don't know what that's about. Guess maybe it takes your mind off of meeting somebody for the first time. Maybe, I don't know. Like we're already in a conversation, even though I'm talking to myself. It's weird. It's weird. Technology is strange. Very strange. See where I'm at on my YouTube numbers here. Hey, it shows up that I'm going live. That's cool. I've never done this before, so it's interesting. I'm not used to seeing myself pop up. $1,988 subscribers. 12 away from 2K. Come on, baby. Let's go. Hooray, it's your channel's birthday. Oh, I didn't know that. How about that? Today is my channel's birthday. Just imagine where you and your community will be next year. Keep doing you. Thanks, YouTube. Rock and roll. Let's go. Let's go. Oops. Oh yeah, yawning on screen. Primo, top notch. Very good. Very good. So, how long can you talk to yourself before somebody starts listening? That's this game. That's what it feels like. I have a whopping zero people paying attention. I wonder how much of a lag this thing has too. Like how much time between what I'm actually talking about and what you actually see. How much is out there? Let's see. Let's find out. If you're new here, again, I am Chris from the Misfit Heroes podcast. We're a top 200 podcast on Apple Podcasts. That's fun. Humble brag. And yeah, I talk to people that are doing good things for others. That's what the whole show is about. There's literally nothing else, and I'm impressed by that. So that's why I do it. So there's that. Today, again, in about 5-10 minutes, we're going to be talking with Beetle, who is a TikToker by the name of uwunisom, is what her TikTok name is. And she's been through some crazy stuff. She has been through what's called the troubled teen industry, where she was essentially kidnapped legally from her house at about 16, 17 years old. Her parents signed off on the dotted line because she was, I don't know, we're going to find out why they did that, but usually situations like this, it's because the kids were not acting the way the parents want them to act. Maybe they're getting in some trouble at school or something like that. I don't know what her situation was. I'm excited to find out what it's about. But yeah, she will be on the show, and it's going to be a very interesting conversation. She was actually taken out into the wilderness for like 3 months or so, and she was basically she had very little like supplies, food. I mean, she had someone that was taking care of her that's like a therapist or whatever that does these things, but yeah, she was essentially out in the wilderness with a group of other kids, I believe, and they had. I mean, it sounds almost like jail. Like they had periods of like solitary confinement where they were literally taken out to a separate area where they weren't around other kids and things like that. And yeah, just sounds like a horror show to me. But um, you know, and I don't understand why someone's parents would allow for that. But we're gonna find out. We are gonna find out. So do 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 do. Going to be recording some intros later this afternoon too. How's my day going to go today? I'm going to be recording this podcast at noon and going to be recording the intro for it right after, and then we're going to be I'm going to be hanging out with my little boy on a Saturday morning. It's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy myself. So there's that. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Hello, new people. Bye bye, new people. They're in and they're out. Man, this is weird. I can see where this would mess with somebody's mental health. If people are, if people are like freaking out about like Instagram and stuff like that, and how many followers they have. This is like they're like, oh, I got one person to come in, and they were like, nope, nope, not for me. Do not. No, thank you. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be strange. Hey, how are you? Can you hear me? I cannot hear you. Let's see. Hang on one second. Uh, oh, so you can hear the words I can hear? Okay, I cannot hear you. Hang on one second. Let's make sure. Doesn't appear to be on my side. So up in the top right, do you see where it says call settings? Okay, so when you click on that, it should have a little button that chooses what microphone you're recording to. Do you see that? It says audio input. Let's see. Okay, no worries. Here we go. It does need to be a computer. I don't know why I'm typing. You can probably hear me. It does need to be a computer, but there's another website I can use if you want to do it on your phone. But it's actually a lot better if we do it this way. You get better like call quality and stuff like that. Are you on Windows or Macintosh or Apple? On a Lenovo, so that's probably Windows. All right, so let's see. If you go down to the Start button and then your control panel, let's see. In your control panel, there should be audio settings for to choose what microphone you're using. Are you on a laptop?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, now I can.
Yes!
There we go.
Hey!
All right, all right. Let's see. Hang on. Let's see. Hang on one second. Um, you on my end, you are coming through. Not coming through my headphones. Let's see. You're coming through my speakers on my laptop. Oh, there we go. Now it's better. Now we're good. I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me? Okay. Awesome. 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 Let's see. Let me see what's going on here. So, hello. No, it's all good. No worries. No worries. Did you get a chance to look over the questions I sent you and everything? Was everything good, or was there anything you didn't want to talk about? Okay, cool, cool, cool. So what have you ever used this website before, Zencaster? Are you familiar with how it works at all? Yeah, it just went black. I did see you, and now it just went black. It says loading video. So on that same call settings button up in the top right, there should be a little button that says camera, and you can choose which camera. Um, Something. It's all good. I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself? So how awesome, awesome. Yeah, I've been taking a look at your videos, man. You got some crazy stuff going on. So yeah, yeah, I believe it. I believe it. Let's see. I am going to. I'm still seeing it just says loading video. What you may want to try, if you try reloading the web page, it'll take a second to like refresh or whatever, but it should pop back up. Do you want to try that real quick? Okay. All right, there's your video. Let's see. I can hear you and I see your hands moving. You're good to go. You're good to go. Okay, awesome. Well, let me explain how this website works a little bit. So basically, I don't know if you've ever been on like a Zoom call or something like that, and the internet sort of lags out a little bit, and people's face gets frozen, and like, the audio gets all funky. So, what this website does is it basically records everything locally on our end, and then streams it all like you're streaming Netflix or whatever. And so, what that does is if we're sitting here talking, you may get like lag and like your audio will still go out and stuff like that. But what it's recording locally is getting, is getting high quality studio quality audio and video. So the reason I use that is I'm on an island. I'm on the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and our internet here is just terrible. so so one thing I may need you to do with this, if you don't mind, is once we're done, if you can just not close out the web browser, just stay with me or whatever, and just hang around until it finishes uploading. It may take a little bit of time. It usually doesn't, but sometimes it does take like 5 or 10 minutes or so after we're done. Okay, all right. So so yeah, I'm excited to do this. Basically, I just like to keep it light. It's just two people talking, hanging out, and I just want to hear your story. I tend to when I interview people, I tend to go a little bit deep. But like I said, if there's anything that you don't feel comfortable talking about or anything like that, we're not live or anything like that. So just just be like, yeah, no, I'll stay away from that one. But otherwise, what I'll do is normally I will hit the start recording button here, and I'll do a clap on my side just to get a few seconds of room noise. So once I clap, if you can just remain quiet for like 5 to 10 seconds, and then I'll just jump right into it, and we'll just hang out. All right, sounds good. I'm excited about it. Hang on 1 second. All right. Oh, by the way, did you want me to is it? Do you want me to call you Beetle? Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do that clap in a second, and then I will. I'll just jump right into it. Okay. All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, Beetle, welcome to the. I'm just very excited to talk to you. You have a story that is just mind boggling to me. You've got so much going on and you've been through a lot, and I'm excited that I'm the one that gets to share it with the world. So thank you very much for coming on the podcast. How are you doing this afternoon? Yeah, no worries. I understand. I got a 3-year-old as well, and I know exactly what that's like. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Thanks again for coming on the show. Let's talk a little bit about what you've experienced just right from the start. When I was growing up, we had these shows like Scared Straight, or you would watch like Dr. Phil sometimes, and they were about these kids that were maybe not acting the way their parents wanted them to, and sometimes they got sent away to like prison to like see the bad side of what could end up in their life or something like that. What I feel like is that you went through something like that just on the most extreme steroids level ever. I mean, can you explain briefly like what is the troubled teen industry, and like what was that like? Oh, uh, you're good. No worries. Yeah. My God. Wow. Well, that's. I mean, that's just. That's intense to say the least. Um, you know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just. I couldn't imagine. Before we go, I want to go deeper into your experience as a whole. But before we get into that, let's sort of take things back a little bit. So when you were a kid, let's explain what your situation was like growing up. I mean, what was your family like? Were they religious? Like, where are you from? Like, tell me a little bit of your backstory a little bit before any of this started happening. No worries, you're good. Yeah. 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 Wow. Wow. Yeah, I mean that term in itself is sort of just horrifying to me, but you know but I mean, so were you like was there a lot of communication with your parents? I mean, was there a back and forth, or was it really sort of like a golden hammer, like this, do what I say, or else? Yeah, 100%. Wow. Well, so I mean, what you were talking about your experiences as a teenager and how all teenagers act like this. I feel like honestly that is 100% correct. I think that it seems like all teenagers rebel and act out a little bit. But what were your troubles as a troubled teen? Like, I mean, was it what, like, I'm thinking of like Catch Me Outside Girl and Dr. Phil, like we were talking about earlier, like you know what I mean, like I mean, were you, was it like were you joining, how what level was it at for them to want to send it to you? Yeah, that was a tipping point. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in all honesty, I mean, in the moment, I'm sure those things to any parent are probably like red flag, red flag, red flag. You know what I mean? But looking back on it, it really doesn't seem that bad. And I wonder how many parents actually, how many parents think of that as an option, because when you're watching one of these shows on TV, and I hate to keep bringing it back to the show, but it's just what's in my head with it, when you're watching something like that, it seems like, oh yeah, well, that obviously it's going to go out and fix them. But what you're telling me is that they go out there and you're living like, you're roughing it on an extreme level. So, let's talk about your experience with that. So, can you give me like a play by play of the events like leading up to your parents sort of signing off on sending you away? Did they talk to you about it at all, or anything at all? Yeah, get an apartment, right? God. Wow. Wow, that's insane. So, how did the actual kidnapping happen? I mean, was it like, I mean, I've seen a video. It said it was like 2 o'clock in the morning, but like, can you walk me through like the actual night of how it happened? Oh my god. Right. Yeah. Wow. That's okay. No worries. Oh my god. Wow. Oh my god. I mean, were there other like counselors there or anything like that when they dropped you off, or they're just out there? And you were only like 16, 17? That is insane. So I mean, how did this actually happen? Did your parents, obviously I'm assuming they had to like sign off and write off on something for this. I mean, so they obviously had to know what the situation was. I mean, I just couldn't imagine. Wow. Did you ever have any contact with your parents at all? I mean, wow. That's insane. That's like a war crime. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. My God. Man, this is insane. You know, in modern times, we call this human trafficking. Oh my God. Man, that is insane. So, how long did you stay in the wilderness? Oh, wow. And so, I mean, were your parents allowed to come to the RTC, or did they just not see you for like a year and 3 months? My God. Wow. I mean, this is just mind boggling to me. You know, we talked about having kids, and I couldn't imagine this. You know, even if somebody was telling me something, um, you know, about my story. I couldn't imagine not seeing my child for a year plus. You know, maybe one or two or three times a year. That's just insane. You know, what sort of legal rights did the organization had? I know you said that they were sort of telling your parents what was going on, but like, did they basically have like a power of attorney over you, or like how what was your legal recourse? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, that's insane. I can't imagine what you've had to go for. And also, I just want to say this while we're talking. Thank you so much for sharing this. I realize this could probably be something very difficult to, deal with. You know, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, there's got to be experiences that you had over the course of, being out in the wilderness with this. So, what was like your first, like, I mean, obviously, first off, just the being kidnapped and being sort of taken obviously is going to be traumatic. But what was your first time when you're out in the wilderness with these people where you realize like, uh-oh, like this isn't even remotely what my parents thought was to expect? Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, so, even if these people have your sort of their legal guardianship or whatever, they still have to maintain your well-being. I mean, don't they have to abide by like basic human rights or basic care or yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask if there was any type of audit or anything like that, but if it's not like a third party audit, if it's just somebody from the company, I mean, you can say whatever you want. God. Yeah. Yeah. Now you said this was what 2017? Was that right? S- Wow. So, I mean, has anything changed since then or is it still going on to this day? What? Oh my god. But this is something that's been going back since like the 1960s, 1970s. I mean, this is not a new sort of style of program. I mean, I can't imagine that it's been this bad. And so, do you know what happens in an event like that when somebody passes away? I mean, and they've been telling their parents, "Oh, they'll be fine. Don't worry about what they say." Yeah. No, no, no. I mean, that's okay. So, I mean, that's this is just I just can't even wrap my head around how this can even happen now. Right, like this is, I mean, this is something that I didn't even know that somebody passed away. I mean, that's insane. And the parents, like, so is there any type of like legal recourse or anything like that? I mean, they've essentially killed their child. Like, do you know anything about that case? Oh my god. That's insane. Talk about signing a waiver, right? Like, yeah. Oh my god. This- uh, I mean, it's just so extreme. It just doesn't seem like it could be real. I mean, there's a part of me that's like, really, but I mean, the fact that you just went through this whole thing, it's just so it's so fascinating to me that this could even happen. You know what I mean? So what was your day to day like? Because I know that you had said in one of your videos that you had things like being alone, like solitary confinement, sort of away from the camp, so to speak. I mean, what was your day to day like on regular, and then what was like sort of some type of punishment, I guess. Yeah. Wow. So I mean, what was sort of the solo you were talking about? I mean, like, what was that, like a disciplinary thing, or like, and what would cause that disciplinary thing? Oh my god! So, geez, a flip. So I mean, that's like you know, so it was punishment though. I mean, it was disciplinary. The extended days. Yeah. My god. My god. So I mean, like, so when the snowstorm happened and everything like that. I mean, I've seen a snowstorm in the Midwest. It's not like a snowstorm. I'm from the South. It's not like a snowstorm down here. Like, what is that? I mean, what was that like? You said you got hypothermia. I mean, did they offer to take you to like a an off site or something like that during the snowstorm, or are you just out there? Right. Yeah. I like how you say that. Like, oh, it would be great. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god. You think? What? Oh, yeah. I mean, the Navy SEALs don't even go through this much training. Yeah, it's like buds. It's insane. That's insane. So, I mean, so how much? I mean, was that towards the end? I mean, you've gone through this whole you've gone through this whole hypothermic situation. How much longer were you there after that? My God, this is. I mean, you. God bless you. You've just been through so much. That's just like that's so traumatic. My lord. So yeah, yeah. So after all this, I mean, what was the transition? I know you said you went for like a year to like an offsite. Like, what was your transition like to that? Like now, how did you get out of this situation? Wow, wow, that's okay. No worries. We can edit all this out. Don't worry. Really? Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I can see that. It sounds like you definitely have some PTSD from this whole thing, and understandably so. So, I mean, man, I mean, this is just wow. So, after all this, I mean, I want to ask you this. So, like, take this with a grain of salt, but was there? Do you feel like there was any good to have come out of this whole thing? Oh wow. Yeah. 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 Well, I mean, I'm glad that you have that outlook on it, because it sounds like you went through a lot, I mean, just legitimate. One of the things that I saw in one of your videos was you were talking about an organization called Synanon, which was, I've been researching it, and it looks like it was designed to be like a more in depth version of Alcoholics Anonymous. But I mean, that's how does that apply to this situation? I mean, do you feel like you were like reformed because of this? Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can understand that. So you said that they walked you out of the forest and you had this like sort of graduation ceremony. After that, like, what was your first meeting like with your parents after that? I mean, were you still like, I can just like imagine that. I don't know if you saw that movie Step Brothers with Will Ferrell, but like that hug scene or whatever, like I could. That's how I would be. I mean, what was that like after walking out of the forest like that? I mean, wow, wow, yeah, Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can see it. I don't agree with it, but I can see where that would be their thoughts. But man, this is just a wild story. This is just yeah. I mean, for something that's like supposedly supposed to be done to help your kid, I just I don't know how it had to be hard for them to deal with it. Have you spoken to them about it? Like, what's your relationship now like with your parents? Is there any resentment? Yeah. Good. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, good. Well, hi, Dad. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm glad that you guys have that. I mean, I could 100% see where that could go completely sideways. So that's really good that you guys sort of have that. You have that support system, and I really I wish you the best with that because I know that relationship could have easily been strained. So that's a beautiful thing. I want to talk about something that you were talking about a little bit earlier. Yes, certainly. A little earlier you were talking about you are speaking out and you're sharing your story with other people. I mean, what can children and families like in similar situations like what can they learn to prevent this becoming an issue, and what do you think, if you had a message, what would that be to share with other families? Yeah. Right. Yeah. Wow. You know what's insane when I'm hearing you say that? I have met with some Navy SEALs, and they go through this training. It's called BUDS training. I have no experience with it, but I've just heard stories and I've talked to people about it. And that's actually the exact same thing that they say. I mean, they're out there doing like what's called like sugar cookies, where they're like getting like sand all over their body and then going out and doing runs. Yeah. And like the entire thing, they said everybody thinks that it's like this big physical feat to become like, the elite soldier or whatever. The entire thing that they're looking for is in your head, your mental response to all this stuff. And it amazes me that what you are saying is literally the exact type of response that someone in that situation has gone through. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's really quite crazy. I looked at a lot of your comment sections of some of your videos because I do the same thing. I've got a comment section myself. Mine's dramatically different than yours, but a lot of the a lot of the people that have commented on some of your videos, they're like, oh well, obviously if you're still here, the program works. I mean, what is your answer to that? Like, what do you think is a proper response to that? Yeah, yeah, right. Yeah, man. You've just been through so much, and I really applaud your outlook for this whole thing. I mean, it's it. I don't think it's easy to look at this from an outsider's perspective and just oh yeah. I mean, now we're talking about it now, 2 or 3 years after the fact. I just commend you for how well you handle this, and I'm sure it's probably been a journey and a struggle to deal with all this stuff. So like now you said you've got a child. You said you went through some postpartum stuff and things like that. I mean, what is your parenting style like now? I mean, going having gone through something like this, how does that affect your child? Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, that's beautiful. I will say, as a personal commentary, my wife and I are doing the same thing with our child, and there's a generational difference that I see there with like Gen X and things like that, where they're like, well, we didn't have that, and you know, it's so hard in times to often see the outcome of that, and like you kind of wonder as a parent, like, am I doing the right thing by handling like this? And I see the same thing in my son too. It's the exact same thing. It's really, yeah, yeah. Well, I love that that's your response. I love that you are handling it that way, and yeah, I'm very impressed with how you handled this whole thing, because I got to be honest. I don't know that I would. I don't know. I don't know that I would handle it that way. I would have been like, okay, mom and dad. It would have been more than chocolate. You know what I'm saying? Like we're going on vacation. Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I mean, I want to be a good steward of your time. I know that you said earlier that you were speaking out about these things and you're offering, just awareness to people. So I know you wanted to talk about a website that can give more information about people, about what's going on with the troubled teen industry. Can you tell me a little bit about that situation? Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, I'll make sure to put all that information down on the show notes below. And if somebody wants to find out more information about you, where can they go to find that? Yeah. Bring it. Bring it. Come on over. Well, well, I'll make sure to put all that information down in the show notes down below so everybody can go follow you and check you out. I really enjoyed talking to you. I think this is just an amazing journey that you've been on, and I think that your story is super inspirational, and hopefully it'll help to bring some people, some families' lives together. I think it's just, I think it's like a bittersweet. It's bittersweet, but it's also very wholesome as well in the end. I think that it's just really impressive the journey that you've gone on, the way that you've handled it, and the way that you continue to sort of bring your family a little bit together. I think it's a beautiful thing. So kudos. Yeah. Certainly, certainly. Well, we're getting down towards the end of the episode, and at the end of every episode, I ask all my guests one question in two parts. And they're normally like a deer in the headlights because I don't tell them anything. Like I haven't told you anything about this entire episode. But what was the last goal that you completed, and what's the next goal that you want to set for yourself? Ah, congratulations. Awesome. Can I find it anywhere online, or is it like an in person thing? Okay. Yeah, well, share it with me. Let me know. You know, this has been a lot of fun, and I really I'm looking forward to seeing what's coming from you in the future. I hope that you can share this information with a lot more people in the future because I think it's something that gets massively overlooked. And like I said, when we first started talking about this thing, I'm thinking of like Dr. Phil, like it's just not in people's heads. So I think your perspective on it is very valuable to people, and I think you should share it with more people out there. Certainly. Well, thank you again for coming on the show. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this guy up. Misfits, you know where the show notes are. Go check out Beetle and her story. I think it's just really interesting and a really cool follow on TikTok. So make it happen. Thanks again for coming on the show, Beetle. Alrighty. All right, hang on one second. Cool. So how was that? Was it? Yeah, yeah. It's super chill. I think a lot of people come on and they get the same thing too. I think the internet has a lot to do with it as well. Like just looking at a camera or whatever. But yeah, yeah. Well, I'm glad you came on. I mean, that was a lot of fun. So what I'm doing right now, my side, I have a little bar going across the bottom that is uploading your stuff here. I don't know if it says uploaded or anything like that on your end, or if it's still continuing to upload. Um, okay, well that's where I'm at as well too. So I want to be a good steward of your time. Are you? Do you have a little time to chat, or do you need to hop off and do? Okay, so while we're waiting for that, I'll see if we can hang out. If not, what I'll have you do is if you wouldn't mind holding the keeping the browser window open, just until it finishes uploading. But just to give you a heads up, so I don't know if you saw like all of my links and stuff on my beacons page, but I do YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, something a whole bunch of them basically. And all I do is I just do like little clips of the podcast, like 60-second clips and stuff like that. And so I'll make sure to tag you and all that stuff. If you wouldn't mind, if you could either send me an email or just respond to that Instagram message that I sent you, and just with any links that you want to share with me where I can send people to you. Yeah, but we'll I'll make that happen. The episodes they get released every 2 weeks on a Sunday, so I've got one coming out tomorrow. So this one would be 2 weeks from tomorrow at 11:30 Eastern, and I'll make sure to tag you and everything when it goes live. And if you need anything else from me, if there's anything else that you want to share with me or anything like that, just let me know and I'll make it happen for sure. Cool. Well, yeah. Like I said, I appreciate you taking the time to come on and talk to me. It looks like it's taken a little while to upload. So, are you on battery or are you on power on your laptop? Okay. All right. Well, I don't wanna keep you hanging around or anything like that. I'm sure you got other stuff to do. So, if you wouldn't mind just keeping this browser window open, and what I'll do is I'll message you on Instagram once it's uploaded, or if I have any other issues. Or actually, is there a number like I can text you at just in case we do have any issues with this? Sounds good. That'd be great. And I won't bother you at all unless there's any problems with it. So okay. Awesome, awesome. Well, if there's anything else that I can ever help you out with, just don't hesitate to ask. I'd be happy to help you out. But I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, and it's been a lot of fun. All right, thank you. I'm gonna hit this hang up call button, but like I said, if you wouldn't mind keeping the browser window open, we're good. Thank you. Thank you. See you later. Oh, shoot.